Welcome to Two Across, the podcast where two friends sitting in various different locations around the world catch up over a podcast. I'm Theo Bosanquet, as usual, in London.
And I'm Rob Cole, sitting in Naples, Italy.
Naples, eh, Rob?
Naples.
The Bay.
The Bay, the setting of so many Elena Ferrante novels that I have read.
Ah, there you go. I have not read those, although I have read Robert Harris's novel Pompeii. So.
We went to Pompeii yesterday.
Oh, nice. And?
Yeah, I didn't know a lot about it, so it was definitely pretty interesting to see an intact Roman settlement of AD 79. I mean, intact, obviously ruined by volcanic eruption and all manner of other things, and then maybe poorly excavated in the 18th century and onwards and left to rot a little bit. But I mean, it's shocking just how complete in a way it is. I mean, you're walking along the plan of the old streets by the old Thermopylae where they sold snacks. People would sit about the counter and eat hot food served from amphoras and such, much like contemporary life in Naples, for instance. So it was interesting. The past feels a lot closer in Pompeii than it does when you read a history book or watch a documentary.
I'm desperate to go. It's so high on my travel bucket list. It's that feeling that it's very much a work in progress as well, isn't it? I mean, they are continually in the process of excavating there and seemingly always turning up new finds.
I think so, yeah. Apparently there's 3/4 excavated or something, but there's always things. Obviously there's the tight core of the city, then there's the outlying areas, what I don't know, but the modern town of Pompeii is built up all around it. So I would imagine any finds that were to have been made out there were made during the excavation of basements and foundations for new buildings.
And what was botched about the 18th century, or probably 19th century, wasn't it, when they were a load of Victorians in +4s just getting their shovels out and having a go?
Yeah, I think there was chaotic excavation that happened, opportunistic excavation, sort of akin to grave robbery, to search for antiquities, that occurred for a long time, and people were just looking for things that they could haul off, and so that's obviously had an impact. And I don't know, obviously techniques of excavation weren't what they are now, and it makes you wonder in 200 years what they're going to say about the excavations that are being done now. Or some sort of archaeological Hoover would have done a much better job of just getting rid of everything without causing any damage. I don't know what the future holds, but it is astounding. I mean, it's just the way everything is numbered and cataloged, and it is quite impressive.
And in our last episode, you were about to head off to Puglia for a kind of pilgrimage with your children. So how did that go?
Yeah, we went to the ancient settlement of Matera on a 7-day walk from the city of Bari, which is on the Adriatic coast of Puglia. And then we did a 7-day walk through ancient Apulian villages and ended up in Matera, which is an interesting place because it's one of the oldest continuously inhabited human settlements in the world. And you can see the ancient cave settlements in the rock opposite. And even where you are, I mean, the ancient caves are there. It's just that they've been built over, built up, and so forth. So it's actually really impressive. And you can see it actually in the last James Bond film. The beginning of that film is filmed in Matera and filmed in Gravina in Puglia, which was the town we were in 2 towns before. And apparently they were quite miffed because Gravina and Puglia were not credited in the credits to the last James Bond film, even though one of the iconic scenes was filmed on an aqueduct coming out of the city, an old aqueduct, and Gravina didn't get credit. So apparently this is a bit of a scandal in the town.
Indeed. Bond gets shot and falls off the aqueduct, I believe. In the way that you're a bit of a closet Star Trek nerd, I'm a closet Bond nerd, and in fact did my dissertation at university on the subject of the Bond films. So, which is
really?
Well, it's not something I like to admit, but why not?
So who's your favorite Bond?
I mean, it's got to be Connery because he was the original, but not just that. If you read the Fleming books, he does come closest to capturing that sense of danger that Bond has. I think all of the subsequent Bonds have been just a little bit too smooth, somehow. But all have had their strengths. And then my sort of childhood bond was Roger Moore, because they seemed to get played on TV. His films were on TV all the time, so he was long my favourite. So they all have a special place in my heart. But then Pierce Brosnan was the first one I saw in a cinema, so that was, he's up there. But they all have their strengths and weaknesses. I'm not really on board with George Lazenby, although but I do kind of admire his recklessness. Do you know the story about him turning up to the premiere of his Bond film with a full beard?
Wow.
Yeah, it was in his contract when he was promoting the Bond film. He had to look like James Bond, and he just flagrantly broke the contract because his agent had told him, Bond isn't going anywhere. It's the 70s. People are going to move on, so you're better off out of it. So he kind of self-immolated his Bond career. And then, of course, Bond actually turned out to very much carry on, only without him. But, he's very entertaining about that now, and he doesn't seem too bitter about it. Anyway, I've taken us well away from your Italian adventures, which are really interesting. That is a brave thing to do with 3 children, to take them on a long walk, or just a short walk, any kind of walk.
It takes years of forced marches. Well, you have to make them fun. Living in the UK was helpful for that because there's a lot of footpath walking, and so you can always bribe them with pubs and fizzy drinks and crisps and so forth. So that helped us a lot those years. We did a lot of footpath walking. But North America is not a great walking place, to be honest. Not sort of free walking. Whereas Europe obviously is the sort of mecca of being able to roam over the land. And so we've done a few subsequently, but this was obviously the big granddaddy. Part of the trick was not telling them how long it was going to be, nor how many days we were doing it. We're going to Italy, we're going to eat pasta, it'll be fun. We're going to do a bit of walking, don't worry about that. But actually, they get into it, and it's funny. My daughter was really into it at the beginning and was very much out of it at the end. And my son, who started moaning about his feet on day 1, by the time he got to day 7, just loved it, and he was sad that it was over. So, yeah, never know how they'll react.
They'll be walkers for life, and they will tell their children one day, your grandfather used to make us walk 10 miles when we were 10 years old. So you can pipe down about us having to walk across the park again or something. They'll use it as a war story in their parental arsenal. So yeah, you're doing them a service.
Yeah, and it was actually an average of 14 miles a day. I think we covered about 140 kilometers all told.
Wow. That is really impressive.
Yeah, they did well. They did well.
I've mainly just been walking back and forth across Brockwell Park with the dog, so I can't really hold a candle to your achievements. Now we have rapided it on a bit, so we should probably dive into the crossword and see if we can finally overcome the Guardian's fiendish ways.
Number 16,798.
Yeah, got it.
Of the Guardian quick crosswords for those at home who would like to play along with us. So that's, if you look on Google and you just Google Guardian quick crossword, it'll take you to the page, and then click on find 16,798.
I've started, by the way, reading some of the comments underneath the crosswords after we finish them or don't finish them. And it's quite comforting that a lot of people seem to agree on the clues that cause particular pain, and people sharing their tales of woe. So I might have to start chipping in. I can shamelessly plug the podcast in the process. Bit of guerrilla marketing for you to throw back to, I believe, our pilot episode.
Yes. Dear Clueless in Cheltenham. I also had a problem with imperialism.
Yeah. Right. So 30 minutes and we're off. You start us off.
All right. I'm going to start randomly. Let's start 17 down.
Ooh.
A large soup bowl that is 6 letters. And I think I know what it is. And you look like you know what it is too.
I know what it is, but I don't know how it's spelled. So I'm very interested to hear. Is it a tureen?
I think it is, and I believe it is Tureen. That's my guess.
Okay.
What do you think? Are we cool with that, or are we?
Absolute. Well, phonetically, it sounds right.
Yeah, it does sound right.
That's not a word I've ever known how to spell. So,
No. Next one's on you.
well, let's go for one that kind of juts into terrain. So let's go 21 across is one more, 7 letters, potentially ending in R if terrain is correct.
I don't think there's any other word for a large soup bowl, and if there is, and the Guardian used it, they are assholes.
Well, I think they are assholes, so I wouldn't put that past them. But,
Yeah, fair enough.
well, actually, interestingly, someone put in the comments recently that they think the setter has changed recently of these crosswords, and in their view, the new setter was slightly kinder than the old setter. So who knows? Maybe there's some hope for us. Yeah. Sorry, you were going to say.
I was going to say that I think one more is probably another.
Yeah. Seems about right.
Probably.
Which fits with our terrain. Should we go for a big one? There's one that goes from the very top to the very bottom. So it's 13 letters.
Okay, let's take it.
If my maths... No, it's not. Yeah, it is. It's 13 letters. It's don't beat about the bush. Or don't beat around the bush. 3, 2, 3, 5. So the clue is don't beat about the bush. 3, 2, 3, 5. And I do have a guess for this.
Okay, so for everyone it's 3, 2, 3, 5, and the 5, the second letter is an H if another is correct. And I would love to hear your guess.
Well, that H has just completely kiboshed my guess, because my guess was get to the point. But could another be wrong? Could there be another way of...
I don't know. It feels right to me, but why don't we try 15 across? Maybe colonize that section first and get a few letters that could give us a sense of whether the is right. So 1 scrutinizes. And it's an anagram of Nice's port, and it is 9 letters long. Anagram. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, we know where the T goes.
1 scrutinizes.
The T of our terrain.
Wait, let's try 15 down.
As always, I'm looking to you on the anagrams.
Yeah, I just need a few more letters. To some degree, 15 down is 2 spaces, 1 space, 2 letters, 1 letter, 3 letters. And it's to some degree, and it's something a something. So maybe in a way.
Yeah.
To some degree.
Good guess.
And that would give us, because Nice's port has an I, and that would make the first letter of that long anagram an I. So we'd have I, 5 spaces, a T, and then 2 spaces, and it's 1 scrutinizes.
I think it's inspector.
Inspector, nice.
Which does imply that get to the point could be correct.
Cut to the chase.
Ah, yes. Yes, yes, yes. You're right. So another is correct. Do you know, that's one of those ones where you're so proud of yourself for getting it that it's like a kind of bias where you just really want your guess to be right. So you kind of, you blind yourself to other options. But that is, you smashed it. Absolutely smashed it. That's brilliant. Cut to the chase.
Well, I finished it. You had the essential skeleton of it laid out.
That's kind of you. You are the flesh to my bones.
You might want to find a fleshier person to help you with that.
Now. 23 across. Performer, beginning with A, 7 letters, with a S and an E. So the S is the 5th letter and the E is the 7th letter. Performer.
Oh,
so an act.
I don't think actor is going to fit.
No, it's not. Let's see if we can get 16 down,
Yeah.
which is uninterrupted. 6 letters beginning with S, third letter O,
Yeah.
uninterrupted. O, slowly.
See, obviously the word stop comes to mind, but what ends in stop, stop, and then space, space.
This could be an issue for us because we're going to have to get one of those 2 clues because we're not going to get any more letters. So we're either going to have to get uninterrupted or performer.
Yeah, why don't we come back to it later? I feel like maybe something will jog.
I have a guess for performer, actually.
Oh.
Could it be artiste?
Oh my gosh. Dude, that sounds really good. And then uninterrupted, S space O space T space.
Okay, let's not dwell on it. We'll come back to it.
Yeah. Okay. 24 across, a religious community starting in N.
A religious community.
Yeah. Let's try and get some ones that can go down across it. Dapper, 20 down, 5 letters. Didn't we have something like this before?
Yes, we did. We've had a couple of these type of clues. I think it may have been dainty last week.
And we had a dapper guy, which was a dude. But that, that won't fit. Natty? No.
Yeah, Natty's a good guess, or I was going to say dandy, but yeah.
Theo, as a Londoner, a West London area, 5 letters, it's 18 across, would give us the first letter of that.
A West London area.
Yeah. They all seem longer than 5 letters to me. Acton?
Acton's a good guess. Yeah. Can't think of any others off the top of my head. That could be Natty. 20 down.
Yeah. Yes.
That would work.
And 19 down is that place starting with T, 5 letters, which one would imagine would be pretty straightforward.
There?
I would imagine, yeah. Oh, and a religious community, N, 3 spaces, E space Y. Let us not be sexist on the pod.
Naivety? What? You're going to have to help.
Because at first I was looking at that and thinking monastery, but it won't fit. And of course, the thing that didn't come to mind, which is obvious, is a nut.
Oh, yes. Get thee to a.
Yes, to the nunnery.
This on International Women's Day as well, Rob.
Wow. Do you think that the setter knew that when they were setting this? They thought, let's be on the lookout for some other women-themed clues. Plain.
There's reminded me of a lovely little detail that happened a few months ago when so I play tennis at a local courts, and they recently got repainted, and the lady who oversees the club and was in charge of the repainting, she chose green and purple because she said, well, it's the colours of Wimbledon, and then she sort of she whispered to me, and also the suffragettes, which I thought was really nice. So yeah, I play tennis on suffragette-themed tennis courts.
In Suffragette City. I did not know that purple and green were the colors of the suffragettes.
Yeah. So there you go. Yeah, I think they wore sashes, didn't they? Which were those colors? But anyway.
It was a sash-wearing phase of history, I feel. Yeah.
It was a sash-wearing time. Yeah. Which that's given me flashbacks, actually, to a clue from a few weeks ago, which we didn't get, which was cummerbund type thing or something like that. And we didn't get it. Anyway. Let's not haunt ourselves with ghosts of failures past, because we really will never finish if we do that. There's been so many.
We can summon failures present instead in their place. Yeah. So plain, E, this is 22 across Theo, bottom right corner. That's E, 3 spaces, E space T. It is 7 letters long, plain, and that's Plain.
Oh, this is tricky because it obviously could be plain as in uninteresting, boring, or it could be...
I think I know it.
Oh, go on.
I think I know it. Like plain to the eye which would be evident.
Oh yeah, that's the other kind of plane. That is a very good get if that's right.
I hope so.
I wouldn't have gone there for probably about another 10 minutes. So that's
In
very
plain sight. And you know what? If we want to start to bust this open, because I think we're probably getting on in time. So scoring,
we're halfway.
this is 5
We're halfway.
down. Okay, so we got to get moving. Scoring is 5 down, and it's an anagram of their cartoons. Now, we have it ending in R-A space I space N, which would probably be ration, right? One would imagine.
Yeah, ration or raction. No, it can't be raction. Ration must be.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that leaves COSTHER for scoring or orchestration.
Oh, I am not worthy. Like that is just
scoring your next symphony.
That's absolutely lovely. Yeah, well done.
All right, where are we going next, Theo?
Let's go 13 across.
Yep.
Which is 9 letters, and we've got 2 of them. We've got the first letter T, and we've got the 5th letter S. And the clue is it lets one in. So it's some sort of, it lets one in, like some kind of door or portal or...
Yeah.
Because I was thinking trapdoor, but that's not quite right, and also doesn't work with the S. In fact, doesn't fit. So wrong on multiple fronts.
Let's come back to it. 10 across, place in society, space H, and then 4 spaces. And I think I might have a guess on this one.
Go on.
Could be like the upper...
Oh, echelon.
Yeah.
I was thinking, what's that quite Austin-y word for your place in society? Yeah.
Your echelon. What is an echelon? Originally in the French, an echelon.
It's probably very poetic and means something like spiral or tragic fall, or I don't. You're the French speaker. What's an eche?
So here's my guess that the echelon are levels in locks on a river. So you have the highest lock is the upper echelon, and then you go down the echelon as your boat descends the Seine. That's a poor double entendre in French.
That's a fantastic guess. We will fact check it at the end, as we often do. That's your gunpowder plot.
It is
this week. Yeah.
Yeah, we need one every week, one random guest fact. How about 8 across is a sea unicorn. Space R, 4 spaces. Now, the sea unicorn can be found in the Canadian Arctic. So it is known to in fact, I had a friend who used to own an ancient horn to one of these, and I believe that there was a terrorist incident on London Bridge in which a man fought off the would-be terrorist with the tusk of one of these. And I actually crossed that bridge earlier that day on my bike.
There you go. And they're hugely popular in children's picture books as well. They're always popping up.
They are.
Narwhals and mermaids are pretty much ubiquitous in children's stories now. So there we go.
If ever you're looking for a funny meme or a funny video to load up, look for a CeraVe ad for skin moisturizer by Michael Cera, who is a former of, I think he was on Saturday Night Live anyway. It features a narwhal in a very funny way. It is well worth watching.
Okay.
Yeah, CeraVe for anyone who wants to check it out.
CeraVe.
Okay.
Noted.
CeraVe.
7 down, we've got rim of an object which reinforces or holds it in place. 6 letters. Second letter L. 4th letter N. Rim of an object which reinforces or holds it in place.
Yeah.
Any guesses on that, Rob?
No. No, not at all. Do you want to try hot food, 6 down?
Yeah.
Or
Time is getting a little bit tight now.
yeah,
10
that's
minutes
it.
left.
So we might as well just start the lightning round. So
Okay.
hot food is space H space L space space.
Oh no. It's going to happen again, isn't it?
Yeah. Hot food.
I'm actually still thinking about this rim of an object because that could be some sort of, I'm thinking of like a band that goes around a barrel or something like that. But let's move top left. One across is quite a nice clue. The clue is, it's a catastrophe! Exclamation mark. Which again feels very
Yeah.
apt to our situation. 7 letters, and the 5th letter is C. It's a catastrophe. It's a shambles. It's a disaster. It's a...
It sounds like something that you would yell out, one would yell out when it's a catastrophe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Egad.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm moving around quickly just to see if we can get... 2 down is great in UK slang, which could be something like brill.
Yeah.
Is that too...
Yes. Okay, I think we have a few that we can bust open here. So if that's Brill, I believe that 11 across, which is here's a surprise, exclamation mark, would have L as the third letter and E as the second letter, space E-L space O, which I think could be hello.
Oh.
And then I think that 12 down, which would be E space space N, which is calm and well balanced, could be relating to their keel, which could be even.
Elan? Oh, even. Yeah. This is nice because now we have quite a few letters to work with. 9 across is perverse, 7 letters. 3rd letter I, 5th letter T.
So I'm going to give you the first letter as a T.
Of perverse?
Perverse. Yeah.
I'm just clearly too pure-minded to get this, Rob.
I don't get it. I don't know it. I just know 1 down, and so I slipped it in.
Oh, it's
So I'm
C.
moving a bit
Sorry.
quickly.
I thought you
Yeah,
were teasing me.
No, I'm being cheeky in a perverse way. So courage or auction, ending in H, 5 letters, space, space, T, which I threw in, space H, which I believe relates to one of the Low Countries.
Dutch. I see.
Isn't that called Dutch courage?
Yeah, I've never heard of a Dutch auction, but
Nor have I.
must be a thing. It is a thing because we've got 6 minutes left. So,
Amazing.
oh,
Go.
I've got catastrophe with that one. It could be nice French word again, debacle.
Oh, nice one. Debacle. That's L-E, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Ooh, ingratiate oneself, Theo, which when I first read it, I read it twice as irrigate oneself. And I thought, well, that's...
Something very different. Something very different.
If you don't mind, my lady, I've got to go irrigate myself.
So could this be, I'm making up a word here, potentially, but
Do it.
if you sort of engender yourself, if you
Oh, endear.
endear, of course it is. And
So, perverse. I've got perverse. 9 across. T space I space T space D for perverse, which I believe may be twisted.
twisted.
And of course, now we're working towards another thrilling finish, which we will no doubt fail at, but which we believe at present we will succeed in.
We have 5 minutes to get 3 clues. Strap in, everybody.
5 clues, a minute a clue, Theo. We've got 5 of them.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got to crack on.
Here.
Let's go.
14 down, we haven't done yet. It's a classic board game, 4 letters ending in O. A classic board game.
Um,
Ludo.
Ludo.
Isn't that a board game?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Okay.
Very well done. So I was thinking Uno, but that's
Y-
a card game.
I was because I was thinking Cluedo, and then all of a sudden, that was the only other one I knew that ended in O. I wonder if it's related to this game Ludi, which is played in the islands.
No time, Rob. No time.
No time. Okay.
It lets one in. It lets one
Oh,
in.
I got it. Turnstile.
Oh, tense. Oh, yes.
Is that a style like ILE?
Yep. Yep. Stile. Yeah.
Okay, now we're really moving, dude. We've got 3 clues left. So, rim of an object which reinforces or holds it in place is space L space N space. Ooh, I think I know what it is. I think it's a flange.
Flange. That's the word. I love that word.
It is a good word, isn't it?
Hot food. Now we have an H second letter. I feel like you've got it, haven't you, Rob?
No, I haven't.
I haven't. No.
Okay.
We know we've got an H and an L. So hot food.
Oh, I got it. I got it. I got it. I got
I
it.
love it when you say that, Rob.
Spicy food. Think hot in terms of spicy.
No time. Just tell me. Just tell me.
Chili.
Chili. Oh, hot as in. Oh, they're always doing this, The Guardian. Throwing us off course.
They're bastards.
Um,
Okay, dude, uninterrupted, last one. We have to get this.
It all comes down to this. We have 2.5 minutes to finally solve a Guardian crossword. And the clue is uninterrupted, 6 letters. S-O-T-. And I can just hear our listeners screaming at us the answer. So words that would fit would be spotty. So
Yes.
but that obviously is not it, because that just doesn't work on any level with the clue. But it could end in Y.
It could end in Y.
It could end in H. Smooth. Oh my God.
Nice
Is it smooth? Is it definitely smooth? Are we locking this in?
We're locking it
Is
in,
there
dude.
anything else? Okay, deep breaths, everybody. Hold hands in a circle, because we think we've finished. We think we've... am I going to even stop the clock?
I think we stopped the clock, dude.
We have 1.5 minutes left. This is so exciting.
That
Well, look, I'm confident enough to say I'm going to check smooth first. And I think if smooth is correct, we're a good 90% that the rest of it is right. Okay, here we go. Reveal this. It's correct. It is smooth.
Dude, Brill.
Is Brill wrong?
No, I just said Brill.
Oh, Brill. You just said Brill, because we got it. We're right. I've just done reveal all. And we've done it. We've cracked the crossword. Yes. I was going to say, actually, I think you may need an even bigger triumphant jingle this week, because this has been a long time coming, Rob.
Well, it's actually just played.
So I didn't want to say this before the crossword began, because I felt it would be, setting myself up for a fall. But I have been doing some practice in the week or so between our recent episodes, and I haven't had a complete success rate, but it has, I think, just helped to keep the fires burning. Now, you undoubtedly got the majority of the clues today, and I'm not saying without your help I would have had any chance at this, but I think the more you do, the more you get familiar with the way that the clues tend to work. But anyway, that was a brilliant achievement, and I'm really, really pleased. And it means we're now on, I think, 7-4 as a overall score.
In North American parlance, we'd say 4-7, as the wins always come first. So we are down, but we are not out. And we're
still very much down, and I think we'll probably remain there. But it's nice to know that the occasional glimmer of hope, Yeah,
I think so. And I think, by the by, we talked in an earlier podcast how groupthink maybe causing us problems in this. But I think today, actually, this was a great example of teamwork, because I don't think I would have gotten this on my own. But between the two of us, we managed to complement each other pretty well on this one. So I think we should pat ourselves on the back.
I'm going to give clue get of the day, which I'm introducing in this episode and may well become a regular thing. But clue get of the day goes to flange. That was an excellent piece of both knowledge and also lateral thinking, because I was completely at sea on that one. So
I'm going to tell you that it was neither. What it was very simple. It was having had that on a crossword before and not getting it.
Well, there you go. A glimpse behind the curtain.
Yeah, not getting it in that crossword and then looking it up. And I don't know when this was, looking it up and then finding flange and thinking, how in God's name does that relate to it? And then my policy on a crossword is if I have to look something up, I also have to research it. So I then incorporate it into my knowledge base. And so flange received that treatment.
They are good crosswords, aren't they, for general vocabulary, and they touch on such a wide range of words and themes, and dare I say it, Rob, that's why we chose to do a crossword in our podcast.
So here's a question for you, and I was thinking about this because I've been doing the Guardian crossword as well. I was thinking, what areas of general knowledge, if you wanted to improve your crossword solving, would you want to look into? So let's play a little game. Let's name areas of general knowledge. Let's name like a top one in alternating fashion. So I'm going to start with one that came to me being in Italy, the land of classical music and so forth. And I thought definitely anything to do with Italian words for music.
Yes.
The voices, instruments, speed, like adagio and all those things, they come up often.
Crescendo and all those good ones. Yeah.
So I thought that's an area where I could definitely bone up and probably get myself a few clues. So what you got one for us?
That's a good one. I would say, so slightly old-fashioned exclamations, I think, would be useful. I mean, just in the last couple of crosswords, we've had mumbo jumbo, we've had brill. There's always words like that which pop up in these crosswords. So I'm not sure where one would begin to study those. Perhaps read some P.G. Wodehouse. It would be a good place to start. But you know what I'm saying? Those sort of Woodhouseian exclamations, I think, do tend to feature quite regularly.
Yeah, totally.
But in general, I think actually that kind of the nice thing about crosswords is actually that you can't, that ultimately you do just have to bring to the table the knowledge that you carry with you. And if that's not enough, then that's not enough. And actually that's why it's such a high wire act, because you really can't invent a word you don't know. So, we are every week risking our proverbial intellectual dignities, as I've mentioned before. And I would definitely say on balance, I think you emerge with slightly more dignity than me. But
I just do a lot of crosswords.
You do. I would say you're definitely more sort of pro level compared to me slugging away from the baseline. To throw back to our earlier mention of tennis. Now, you recommended a YouTube video earlier on, so my recommendation this week is going to be a film, and seeing as the Oscars are imminent and will have been announced by the time this goes out, so we shall see how it goes. It's probably going to be Oppenheimer's year, but I did see last night a film that is also on the Best Picture shortlist, which is called Past Lives, and I mention it partly because it's a really good watch. It's a really, really interesting film, but partly because it's made by a Korean filmmaker called Celine Song, who I think is fabulous. And it's I don't know if you know her work. I don't know if she's made big ripples in Canada, but she certainly deserves to, because it's great. And the film's title references a Buddhist idea, which is essentially to do with reincarnation, and the idea that when you encounter people in this life, it's because you share a past life. And I thought, you're a meditator, aren't you, Rob? You're more immersed in kind of Buddhist ideas than me, but it really struck a very profound chord. The ending is absolutely remarkable, actually, and just that sort of idea of encounters with people today feeling, or your relationships with people today feeling kind of loaded with a history that you're not fully aware of. I think it's a very powerful idea, and one that I found very moving. So
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
it. I just wanted to put a word in for it, really. It's on Netflix at the moment, so
And I'm embarrassed to say I haven't heard of Celine's song, and it would sound by her first name that she might even hail from Quebec or have French parentage as well as Korean parentage, because Celine is a very French name. I have to admit, and this is one thing back to our general knowledge in crosswords, my great failing is that I've fallen completely out of touch with popular culture, which in a few years' time, when the next crossword setter comes on, who's maybe going to be a millennial, I will start to fade and fail in crosswords, because there's a lot of content being created now that I'm blissfully unaware of. But I will check that film out, because that sounds right up my alley.
yeah, it's just my kind of film as well. I love a good sort of character study, and actually, there's a few of those on the list this year, on the Best Picture list. I also saw The Holdovers. I don't know if you've seen that, but the Paul Giamatti film set in a boarding school in kind of I think it's 1960s, 70s America, and it's it's great, also very good. So although Oppenheimer will probably dominate, that there are some interesting films out there, well worth seeing at the moment. So what are your plans now, Rob? Are you back in Canada anytime soon?
Yes. So this is the end of the road for my wanderings. Come Sunday, it'll have been 6 weeks away from home. So I'm returning to home on Monday with my children, and my wife is going to be staying in Europe for 10 days. She'll actually be in the UK for a couple of days. So I'll have the kids for 10 days on my own for my comeuppance, as it were. But I'm
Yes.
really, looking forward to getting home, to be honest. It's been a long time. It's been fun. It's been amazing. I mean, Naples, definitely keen on talking about that in a future podcast. I literally have just scratched the surface, but it's every bit of the chaotic jumble that Elena Ferrante portrays in her books. And I'm really excited to go and explore more of it and report on that. But by the same token, I've had enough novelty for the time being, and I'm looking forward to a complete absence of novelty, a complete return to normality, and getting up in the morning and feeding kids cereal and kicking them out the door and spending too much time in front of a computer writing emails and reading things for a couple of weeks until that gets annoying, and then I'll be off again. But yeah, the next month I'm in Canada.
Well, we look forward to catching up when you're back, and in the meantime, I should read some Elena Ferrante. It's a big omission from my cultural knowledge, and everybody raves about them.
It is well worth it. And I am constitutionally against getting into anything that everyone raves against. It's like the immediate kiss of death for something for me. As soon as everyone starts raving, I was like, okay. And then 10 years later, once all the buzz has died down, I'll watch it or read it and say, wow, that's great. But anyway, that's my obstinance. But Elena Ferrante really is worth the hype. The Neapolitan quadrilogy, or whatever you call the 4 series of books, is absolutely fabulous. And it all takes place sort of in the down on the street level of Naples and in the apartment buildings and all the corruption and all the, mafia type violence and everything. But it's very engaging. It's actually quite incredible. So it's cool to be here on the ground.
I was going to say, it's always nice to visit a place when you've been immersed in it through fiction, and then you go, I mean, not to the same extent, but I mentioned in the last episode that I went to Chesil Beach recently, which is the setting for an Ian McEwan novel, which I really, really love. It's a fantastic read, and another recommendation called On Chesil Beach. And just that feeling of, it's kind of like visiting a film set, isn't it? It's that feeling that you're visiting a place where drama has taken place, drama that is sort of imprinted on your consciousness has occurred.
Yeah.
But it's sort of even better than that, because it's all in your imagination, and then you're kind of encountering the reality, and it just, it's magic, and makes traveling so much more evocative, I think.
It does. It does. My wife and I have been joking because she's a big fan as well. And we keep joking about, going to see different parts of the city that are portrayed. And we kept joking that there would be a double-decker bus tour, the Elena Ferrante double-decker bus tour, where you could go. Because, I mean, she really does portray a lot of the grime and the sort of seedy parts of the town. So imagining a bunch of sort of Brits and North Americans on a double-decker bus driving through the slums of Naples with their cameras out and their selfie sticks.
Yeah.
We both found that to be a pretty funny image. So we're going to go do that this afternoon. Not with our double-decker bus tour. There isn't one, unfortunately, but we did Google it. And The Guardian actually has recommended places to see if you want to soak in the experience. So we're going to go do that.
And I'm sure the kids will be thrilled.
Yeah.
Again, just don't mention the literary aspect. They're just going to go and see a nice or different part of the city, kids, with some really
There's a nice gelateria.
pizzas. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
It's the only reason we're going. Yeah. On which note, Rob, have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your travels and time in Italy. I'm #WellGel, so do send some pictures and continue to just remind me why I should be digging myself out of my South London cave occasionally to see the wider world. But I do love to live vicariously through you, so that's fine.
Brill.
Okay, off with the flanges.
All right.
Let's sign off.
And we'll see you all next week here. Same space, same bat time, same bat channel.
Same bad crosswording. That was a episode of Two Across produced by Theo Boziquet and Rob Cole with music by Enthusiasts. And please do like and subscribe and all of that good stuff. Give us a follow on Twitter @2acrosspod and keep listening. We hope you enjoy. Take care. Bye-bye.